You know, when you go to share your work or post and then you hide? Okay, let's have a look at that. What we're going to look at today is called the visibility loop. And it's a process people go through pretty much every time they go to share their work. There's a key moment in this process where you have a choice around how you respond, and that impacts how you keep showing up or not. So let's go through the loop. I'm going to take you through the whole loop, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like complete. And you also have the opportunity to download the loop if you want, and you can have it as a resource. The benefit of knowing all this stuff is that you keep sharing your work, you keep in creation mode and build momentum rather than holding back, shrinking, judging yourself because you know that you have such wonderful work, but then you're not showing up to help other people access the work. So the first part of the visibility loop is desire. And the desire is the calling to share something. There's something in you that goes, I want people to know about this. It's helped me, or I can see the benefit of it. I have something to say. I'm going to share it. And often linked with that is excitement. So you go into excitement. Oh, okay. I'm going to create something. And then instead of it being this ethereal concept, you bring it into reality. So that could be a framework, that could be a product, that could be just a video or a post or a newsletter or a podcast episode. And so you bring that into reality by actually creating it. Generally, if you're creating something, you care about it. You know, unless you're doing a 9-to-5 job that you don't like and have no passion for, if it's something from your heart, you care about it. Now, because of that, the next step in the loop is that you can feel vulnerability and friction. Firstly, vulnerable because what if it's not good enough? What will people think? What if I fail? Yeah, it's like there's this sense of vulnerability that there's an exposure into the world. The friction is this movement back and forth creating heat. The friction is the resistance. Okay? Very natural. Yeah. When we feel like our tribe is going to judge us, our brains go into this mode of feeling like we're going to be isolated from tribe, kicked out. And probably the most powerful sense that we have as human beings is belonging. So when belonging is threatened, it can feel very real. And the mind will naturally jump to this threat when you're doing something that you care about and you're putting yourself out in the world. You might have experienced this already, I'm sure. Yeah. Now, to go from vulnerability and friction, what you need to do next is access courage. How much courage do you have? Infinite courage. You think about how many times you've picked yourself up off the floor to keep going in life. That takes courage. Even though you've copped a hit, you get up, you keep going. Now, the courage is to share your work. So when I said about newsletters, podcasts, or products, all those things, videos, you're posting it somehow, right? Like you're sending it out into the world. So that's the next step. On the image there, it says, here goes nothing. Most of the time we go, here goes something pretty important. Yeah, so there's an attachment to the importance of it. Now, once we put it out in the world, we can be very sensitive to feedback. And so that feedback can be likes, can be dislikes, can be positive comments, negative comments, can be views, can be shares, that can be sign-ups, it can be leads, it can be purchases. What we're trying to do is see if people are interested. We have this success metric in our brain, and that's the feedback that we're seeking. Now, if we don't get the feedback we're seeking, the next step in this loop is that we create meaning. We're creating a meaning to what it means. Very powerful evolutionary wise as human beings that we associate meaning, because if we perceive we're succeeding, then that's helping us, that's helping our tribe, our family. And so we keep doing those things. if we perceive that we're failing, we will pull back and possibly try something else. Yeah. So we're attaching meaning to it, but also we can be attaching senses of value about ourselves to it. So we can go, well, this means I'm no good at this work. This means nobody cares about my product or this service that I have. That's not necessarily true, right? The mind is creating this meaning based on the feedback. The feedback could actually mean that, hey, you're new at this, you don't have a lot of people engaged in your work yet. You need to keep resonating at a frequency, putting it out in the world so that people hear it and come to your work. But depending what meaning you put to what you're doing, you can go into two things. The first is, and this is the pivotal part of the loop, the first is you can go into withdrawal. So you can take it personally, you can take it like it's not safe, you take it that the work is bad, that you should stop doing what you're doing, you take it that you're going to disappear. All these things can happen, right? That's withdrawal. Often in withdrawal, there's a lot of self-judgment, sense of failure. Incidentally, when that happens, what's being released in your brain is noradrenaline and cortisol. And what they do is they make you want to quit. Yeah. If you focus on the process instead of withdrawal, the execution of the process is the success. So instead of being outcomes focused, you're process focused. What will happen is you get dopamine that makes you want to keep going. So instead of withdrawal, you come into trusting the process. I'm learning. There's all these new skills that I'm getting. I might not have made the sale, but there's also all these other benefits that I got. I might have got the leads, or I might have just got better at writing newsletters or putting my work out in the world and being seen, or handling criticism, handling negative comments. That's a big one too, by the way. Negative comments make people feel like their belonging is threatened. So there's a practice to that. As you post things and share things with the world, you can learn to handle negative comments better if you have the appropriate resources and structure and understandings. Yeah. So if you trust the process and keep going with the process, what happens is you return to desire, and desire is the impulse to share. One of the key things is when you feel safe, you're more likely to be creative. So as you go through this loop and you come back towards the start, you come back into creativity. That means you're creating something unique. You're creating something that people may not have seen before, or that they haven't had that perspective before. And that is crucial because that's a pattern interrupt for people, especially these days when there's so much the same on social media, so much the same in the inputs that we're getting. Your creativity stands out. Your unique you is so important. And then, of course, we go back to the start. So you can download this in the link below. This model of visibility as a practice. So this is the visibility loop. So to sum it all up, desire, excitement, creativity. Then there's vulnerability and friction. Yeah. Then that requires courage. And then you share your work, your product, whatever it is, your speech, whatever it is, you share it anyway. Then you're going to get feedback. No feedback is still feedback. Yeah. What are you going to make that mean? Are you going to make it mean that you're not safe, that it's not working, that you should stop? Or are you going to actually make it mean, well, I just need to keep showing up and I'll get better and better and better at this. More people will hear about me. And if you do that, you're going to come back to desire and you repeat the process. If you would like to have a conversation with me about your process and how I can help you with being seen more so that your work reaches more people, there's a link that you can access in my profile or in the comments section below or in the show notes. Also, the downloadable link to this is there. And I also have a 9x16 version that you can put on your phone. What we're doing is we're normalizing the process of being seen, and you're getting better and better and better at doing it by continuing to show up. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. If there's anything else I can help you with that you'd like a video on, let me know. Sending my love.